Yo, what's up guys? Advanced FC here. I'm going to be showing you guys what to work on if you want to get better at Fortnite slash what I do for my warm-up routine. Now the first thing that I think you guys should definitely work on is building and editing. I'm going to combine these two into one category since it's pretty self-explanatory. And whether you just want to crank 90s or, do some retakes or cone jumps or whatnot, you guys can do pretty much whatever you want. Just to help you get better. This is not going to be like a building tutorial or anything like that. It's just going to be me going over the separate things you guys should work on. And, within building itself, you guys should most definitely work on tunneling, retakes, everything that involves building, you guys should be working on to kind of help you guys with your Fortnite mechanics, right? Now, the next thing that I'm going to say is that's kind of different than building is going to be building order. So, building order means that when you're going up the ramp, placing the stair first, then the floor, then the wall, or vice versa, ramp, wall, floor. And the reason you want to place the ramp first is because if someone's peeking right over there trying to shoot you as you're ramping up, the ramp is going to stop them from shooting you. And the only other alternative to the ramp is the floor, because the wall cannot be placed without being connected to something, right? So whatever it may be, learn the building order of doing 90s, ramping up, doing your retakes. So like for a Twifo cone, you want to place the 4 walls, then the cone. The same thing goes for piece control. It's super important for piece control that when you're doing the Calc Classic, you need to cone them first, then wall them off, because most likely, if someone's right here next to you, it's going to be their first intention to build a stair and to get out and then to jump out. So once you place those 2 cones in their box, they panic. They don't have as much time to get up and out. They're going to hit your cone there, and then from there you can wall them off, get piece control, and then shoot them, right? So building order, super, super important. The next thing I want you guys to work on before we get into aiming and stuff, and aiming goes more for PC players than it does for console players just because of the aim assist, but console players, you need to work more on your editing because it is a little bit more difficult to get to a certain level in editing for controller. But once you reach a certain level, then it's as easy as PC to get better at editing. But the next thing I want you guys to work on is your crosshair placement. Now, crosshair placement has become a recent thing that people are starting to work on. But realistically, I've been working on crosshair placement for a while now. And basically, it's where you see the dot in the center of the screen of where your shotgun aim is, right? Your crosshair placement is where your cursor is. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about crosshair placement in terms of shooting. That's a whole different other category, really, and it involves with aiming. I'm talking about piece control. I'm talking about crosshair placement for building and editing. Now, for editing, it's pretty simple. Crosshair placement, you want the least amount of movement, and Raider464 talks about this. The least amount of movement to make the edit. Now, you don't want to be editing on the 4 corners like that, right? Because it's going to take way too long, right? You could get fast at it, but it's much easier to get as close to these 4 corners touching as you possibly can and complete the edit. Now, if you do something like that edit, right? You don't want to be starting here and dragging all the way across, right? You want to be as close here, right? So it's a little bit faster, right? And then once you get that down, you can work on the next one, which would be that edit, although that breaks when I edit it. You can work on these edits, getting as small crosshair placement as you possibly can. Crosshair placement in terms of building, right, is very important. Now, if I have my cursor here and I pull out my cone, if I look straight up, I'm gonna place it on top of my head. However, if I look just above the ramp here, I'm gonna cone it, right? Super, super important. So you can do the same thing with the wall. If you look straight up, right, you get kind of the cone on top of you. If you look to the right, you're gonna get you can experiment this with yourself, where your crosshair placement kind of needs to be and figure it out. But if you look right above the wall there, you can place a cone on the other side, right? And from there, you know, you can come down, do whatever you want, right? Next up is going to be your aim. Now, there's plenty of aim trainers that you guys can go out and use and find for yourself and see which one works best for you. But working on aim is very important. Shotgun aim is a little bit harder. It's you know, you have to realistically you have to go against actual people. So I suggest maybe going into box fights or finding a friend that you can practice your shotgun aim with. There's plenty of aim train maps that are out there. But as far as AR aim, you should be doing tracking, horizontal and vertical, super important. And for snipers, realistically, go against a friend. It's all natural player movements that involve sniping. So whatever you do with sniping, make sure it's with an actual player, not just a bot moving across the screen, right? Because players jump, they crouch, they do a whole bunch of different things that affects their movement. Right, with shotgun aim, work on the ADS speed. If you have time to ADS in, go ahead and work on your ADS speed. If you ADS a lot, then you know, definitely practice using the ADS. Next up, movement. Now, movement for controller players is a lot easier. They have 360-degree movement, which means they can look to the side and basically keep running forward. PC players, your movement's going to be a little bit worse. So I would suggest going and taking an in-depth look on how Booga moves. Booga's movement is very, very good. So that's going to be something. But knowing where you are in your grid is very important. So like if I'm way over here on the stair and I want to go out right, I'm editing these four and I'm running. The fastest way is a diagonal straight, right, through here, right? I'm not going to get there faster by coming around, right? I'm going to get there faster by running at a diagonal straight and doing my cone jump, right? So knowing where you are in the grid, especially when you're on a flat in a box, right? If you know that you're in the direct center and you place a ramp to try and jump on and you hit your head, that's not good, right? So you want to know where you are in the grid. Now, it's easy to tell in a box because there's a certain point in time where the character will start to get closer to the camera. Right here is where it stops, right? Right here is where it starts to get closer to the camera. That's where you know that you can start phasing this ramp, right? And then from there, don't jump. Only do it if you're gonna phase it. So like right here, I know I'm phasing it now, right? And now I can jump in it, and now I can do whatever I want, right? Just because the worst thing to do is to stand in the center of your grid, have someone take your wall, and get coned. So make sure you're focusing on it. Even if you just stand a little bit to the side, you're not going to get coned, right? And you can get out of there. But just know where you are in your grid, and that's going to be half the movement that you're going to have to worry about. The other half of that is knowing where your opponent is and how to maneuver to get ahead of him, or to get height on him, or to get an angle on him. And that all comes with game experience and trying to read players, and that involves practice and creative fills and real games and stuff like that. So go ahead, go practice that in game. Anyways, piece control is basically taking control of the building grid with your building pieces and not allowing your opponent to have it so that you can't escape one way, right? So for an example, Booga likes to use this a lot, and let's say that your opponent is in this box right here and you've gotten him low. Let's say that you pumped him for, let's say, like 150, and you want to pressure him and he's in the box. You don't want to be stupid because he's taken 2 minis already. You don't want to be stupid and phase into his box, right? So what you do is you place a cone. Oh shit. You place a cone, you edit it immediately, wall both sides, edit one side, and now from here, you can edit one side, pickaxe, re-edit the side, and try and take his wall. And if he says edits a window in here while your cone is up, and he cones you and gets your back wall, you still have 1 and 2 ways that you can get out and try and have a shot at him, have a different angle, right? Hi guys, so that is, I think, it for what I wanted to talk about today. I'm going to show you guys some of my warm-up stuff that involves all the things I've talked about throughout this video. And if I've left something out, please remind me in the comment section, and we'll do maybe a full warm-up tutorial from start to finish, and I'll just take cuts and bits of it. But for now, I'll just show little clips, some examples of all the things that we've talked about today, and yeah.
Here we go again. Trying hard, but you wanna be my friend. Ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. Here we go again. Call my bluff, I'ma be here till the end. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. If you don't wanna change, I can help you out, 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 I can help you out. Here we go again. Time is up and I'm calling up my friends. Ain't no wonder why, ain't no wonder right to. Here we go again. Call me up and you want